they'll get into it.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, oh, wow, okay, Kimmy, the B-boy coming out.
Yeah.
Okay, so move along. I love the activity. Like I said, I love that, the building activity with the benches and stuff like that. I thought that was real nice. No, I don't think Martell should be iced out. Um, I don't, I really couldn't give you how Kimmy should have handled that. Like I said, they didn't want to bring it up on the show, but I think Kimmy needs resolve from that. She's still really highly upset about that situation. Um, and I can see why she's upset because it's a constant thing with these men cheating on these women, even to the point where they get down to it at the dinner table. Because Martell brings up the question, oh, what's your okay, we can move along. We're gonna get to the dinner. Was there any other interesting part? Am I skipping anything? Oh, Will and Ken talk about, how Ken feel about if him and Trish he really thinks him and Trish is going to work out for a long time. You can let him know that I really do love her. I really do want this to work, XYZ. But I think we all know that allegedly they're not together as of today. Shout out to Trish though. She finally got that divorce. So apparently she's finally divorced. So shout out to her. It just sucks that she lost the man after the divorce. But okay. Whatever. As long as she got away from Marquez, Marquez is not wrapped too tight. Apparently, allegedly, Marquez got a new girlfriend anyway. That's the word on the curb. I don't know. But in fact, I think he's engaged was the word I heard on the curb. I don't know. But I hope they don't bring him back. There was another rumor that they trying to bring him back for next season for what? This man threatened the cast and the crew members. What are y'all bringing him back for again? I'm gonna be honest with you. If you ain't bringing Arion on there, we definitely don't want to see Marquez. I mean, I would rather see Arion than Marquez. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. That's just my opinion. Give me Arion. I'll do Arion over Marquez. But yeah.
And don't forget, even on that scene where Ken and Will were talking, Ken keeps trying to like insinuate that Will needs to be a part of Destiny's life or whatever. And then Will even went so far as to say that, he wouldn't want to deal with Destiny because he couldn't handle her being drunk, as though he had some type of say so. I believe Destiny chose not to fool with him because she said he's a walking red flag. I don't know.
Right. Right. And well, he did say her being drunk, which I wonder how many times has he been around her while she was drinking? Because it's like, I don't know if it just took that one time for him to realize that. Because that was, I don't know, that just seemed, yeah. Yeah, Will is, spreading his royal oats still. Allegedly, rumor has it word on the curve is he just had a brand new baby. I don't know. He already got how many kids? Like 5 or something like that already? So yeah, apparently, allegedly, I don't know how true it is, but they say the man just had another baby. So yeah,
Maybe
but
they don't
yeah,
believe in no Jimmy Hess down there in the Huntsville, do they?
a girl, they don't believe in no Jimmy heads. They believe in everybody. I don't know, girl. They got a lot going down.
Woo.
Yeah,
Woo.
they got a lot going on down there, baby. I just don't know. Fast forward, we get to the dinner. They all, they go change, wash up, freshen up, get to the dinner table. They eating. They start having conversations. Ken brings up the fact that he doesn't, he would like to come to them for advice, because seeing how a lot of them have been married for a long time. But he didn't like the advice they was giving him to give up on Trish. And that's how I felt when they first came on the show. I felt like a lot of people wanted this man to give up on Trish. And I get it. She was still married, although separated for many years. Yeah, Will's definitely for the streets, girl. Yes, Susie. Will is definitely for the streets, okay? But he just need to strap it up. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. And Will admitted that he's not into commitment. He's not ready to commit. So my thing is, if you're not ready to commit, why keep creating children? That's just irresponsible on Will's tip. You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially if
Right.
none of the women that you're laying down with, you're willing to commit to. Like, why keep having children with them? Because that's a lifetime commitment.
Mm-hmm.
That's just backwards. So Will's definitely a walking red flag.
Single parent homes.
Will is definitely a walking red flag. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, it just create too many, yeah. But because that, like I said, that's a more important commitment. That's the most important commitment you can have is being a parent. So, yeah, well, anyway, moving along. So, did I miss anything? Okay, we got Will and Kim's conversation. We got Will and Destiny. Tisha and what's his name? Maurice take a little walk in the field. They're discussing yesterday, like you said, Maurice pointed out that Kimmy did kind of set that on fire. And I would have to agree with Marceau. I think we all agree with Marceau. Kimmy definitely set that in motion. Then they get into, Destiny and Tisha finding a resolve. And, Marceau this time finally said something that wasn't so, off-putting, but he just told Tisha to make up her mind what she want to do. Either you going to try to work it out or you going to walk away from it. Really need to figure that out. I can't, I agree with him. Y'all gonna be friends, work it out. But if not, then go ahead and put a nail in the coffin. I kind of agree with that. You know what I mean? But so they have their little walk, whatever, and teacher's like, oh, this is so cute. This gonna remind me of when we're all walking around our property, Scott, me, and yeah, all cute. Okay, cutesy. All right, boom. Everybody go wash up, get ready for dinner. Then we get to the dinner table. This is when they start having, real conversations. Kimmy and Maurice thanks everybody for coming. Appreciate everybody being there. Just showing, yeah, they want him to dog walk Trish, and that like and I applaud Ken for because I felt like Ken kept it a buck and held it 10 toes down. You don't if you really care about somebody, you just don't give up on them like that. And I applaud him for saying, "Hey, she spent the block, I spent the block. Why should I be extra more madder than her?" That she did exactly what I did. So I appreciate Ken, because most men are sensitive. Like I already told you, I really truly believe that if Tisha ever treated Marceau would not be able to handle that at all.
Oh no, not one
At
bit.
all.
Not one bit.
Yeah, so yeah. And I tend to agree with Ken on that. The men couldn't handle what Ken is able to handle. Ken he has a little bit more emotional maturity than the Scots and Martell, really. I don't
Right.
know what Chris got because Chris really is, and I think Chris gives me like allegedly. I'm just my opinion, but Chris gives me look. I kind of keep it low key, so so my things that I'm doing don't be on the radar because
Oh,
allegedly
that's
rumor has it
what
running the Chris
Mhm.
out there cheating. So I think for him, well, I don't know if this is true. I'm not saying it's true, but the word on the curve is Chris is still out there cheating. Okay. Y'all know that came up before that Chris, Chris did cheat. They separated for a year and all this. They allegedly rumor has it word on the curve is Chris is still cheating. So I think Chris plays, he low key, he don't want to make too much fuss because he don't want to bring too much attention to what he really got going on, in my opinion. I don't know this to be fact. These are the rumors down near the Huntsville. So they get to talking. Kim brings up how he didn't appreciate them kind of encouraging him to leave Trisha rather than working it out, especially seeing how a lot of them have long-term marriages and they've worked through a lot of things.
Right.
Martell, yeah, I do.
Mhm. Butterfly.
Yes.
Before you go to that, I just want to plug one more thing in. Let's talk about
Yeah.
Will calling Destiny combative. Did you have an
Right.
issue with that? I hated that. I
Yes,
really.
I did. And that's why I felt like, yeah, that's what I mean. But that's why I felt like, yeah, Destiny has a wall up, but Destiny kind of like me. If somebody comes to you with the bootleg lane, it's no point of beating around the bush trying to play with it. Destiny gonna handle it head on. And when you're coming from a place that Destiny's coming from, I can understand her not wanting to beat around the bush. I don't even think it's combative because it's like if I don't agree with you, then I'm going, we're gonna have the conversation. I've got accused of being combative because I just don't agree with you. Like, and I don't necessarily think is that I'm being combative. I just don't see it how you see it. And I'm just going to be very clear, straight to the point like that, which I'm glad when she said, no, I'm not combative. I'm straight to the point. He did agree that she is straight to the point. I
He
didn't like
did.
that he called her combative.
And he
Yeah,
went
he did.
back to, although he agreed with it, he says that sometimes she does things for the sake of. And then he said, well, she said, no, I respond. I was on the debate team. He goes, there you go, right there. And this, I don't think I'm combative. I just confront things in the moment. Will said that he felt like she was right. She was very direct, but he also believes when alcohol is involved, she becomes combative. And I think that is a dog whistle for black women. You know what I'm saying? Like, woo, come on,
Yes.
look at this brat. She's combative. You know, I don't like that. I just didn't like it. I
Right.
just
And here's the thing I have with them. I don't. Ugh. It gives me they like women that they can kind of like they like really really very very submissive women. It's giving me that's what it's giving me out of the Huntsville. I don't know if it's something in the water in Huntsville, but they do like women that don't give them too much pushback and kind of let them just run the show and don't have no input and don't have no say so. And I think that's why we'll feel like Destiny's combative. Will gives me a Marceau type of mentality. You know what I'm saying? Once I
right.
say what I say, that's what it should be type situation.
Yeah, I see that
Sorry,
too.
buddy, because you just take over real quick, Lady Ro. Hold on one second.
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree with the concept of the men being male chauvinists, but to call black women aggressive and combative, abrasive, all of the buzzwords can be dangerous because our counterparts in other ethnicities are not with the same behaviors are not called combative and abrasive and aggressive, just black women. So I think that we've got to be careful about using those buzzwords because they too could be dangerous. And I was kind of disappointed in Will because I thought he was more intelligent than that. But I also think that Will also seems to be a little scorned as though he doesn't take rejection real well. And he really wanted to get up under the underclothes, the undergarments of destiny, and it wasn't allowed. So I believe that he sometimes kind of, I think that some of his behavior and mannerisms is because of that. Sarah, just because you
Right,
believe that she's combative doesn't make it true, because combative is really a subjective thing. It's not always something that you observe. It can be subjective.
right.
And just
Okay.
because I don't agree with you does not make me combative. Her trying to stop Martell from his behaviors at that table and she being a little inebriated may have been a little combativeness or aggressiveness by her grabbing him, but maybe that in her mind, when you're inebriated, people don't actually know exactly what they're actually doing. They don't really. Next morning, they may not even remember it. But I don't think, as we see Destiny from day to day, I don't think we've ever seen her be combative. We've seen her use her words, be very boisterous and with speaking. But combative, I think we need to take a little backstage on that combativeness. I don't really
Yeah,
like.
I don't find Destiny combative neither. I
Mm.
do find, like she said, straight to the point. She's not gonna beat around the bush. She's gonna handle the situation right then and there.
But disagreeing with people does not make you combative, Sarah. You said Destiny hardly ever agrees with people about anything. That does not mean she's combative. It just doesn't. That just means we don't agree. But me and Butterfly don't have to agree on nothing.
Girl, I'm about to say, Sarah, girl, Sarah, you ain't seen me and Lady Ro go back and forth.
And I would never say that she's being combative. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. We just don't agree. We be both be passionate about our points. You know what I'm saying? But shoot, it's all love. We
All
always, we come to an understanding.
we're gonna keep
Yeah.
talking. We're gonna hug it
Yeah.
out after done and keep rolling.
Okay. Listen, that's it. That's it. Okay, we're gonna try to wheel it back in. Yeah.
Sarah said that y'all
Would
are
you say,
combative.
Sarah,
No,
that we
ma'am.
combative?
No,
You
ma'am.
know what, Sarah? I'm gonna let you have it, baby. I'm gonna let you have it. That's how you feel.
Ain't letting you have it.
Okay, look, see, look, here we go. Look, I'm like, I'm gonna let you have it, and you'll say, okay.
Yeah, I
Listen,
don't.
yeah, we,
I don't like the buzzwords for black women. I'm sorry, I just don't. I
yeah,
just don't. I just watched
yeah,
a
yeah.
video a few moments ago of this Caucasian girl at a graduation that was held inside of a stadium locally, and she is literally acting a plum donkey with some African American people. And you know what? The people that never saw, oh, she's being combative, oh, she's being aggressive. Never saw that in the comment. I saw, oh, she's upset over what? Some public seats. girl, go sit down and relax and watch this graduation. But instead, she had a meltdown. But nobody, they call it everything but combative and all the other things that black folks get called. All right, now we're gonna stop there. We're gonna get that in order. We're gonna get that because
Right.
I have to check myself on that as well. Hey, Brown Girls Rocks. I have to check
Hey,
myself.
beautiful. Hey,
Yeah,
brown girls rock. Hey, buttercup. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The buzzwords for black women, it gets tiring.
yeah.
It gets tiring. Wait a minute. Why it look like Sarah disappeared on me? Why I do that to my boo comment? Okay. Yeah, okay, yeah, okay. Everybody still see her. No, they
Yeah,
don't.
I still see her.
Okay. It looked different on mine. I don't know why it looked like that. Okay. Oh, I forgot. It does that. It lets you know that you highlight the comment
Oh,
already.
so you
Okay,
know,
yeah. StreamYard always doing something new, but I
I
can't
love
take advantage of
I
it.
love that though. I'm glad they put that feature because I was always getting lost on StreamYard. So like, which comment was last? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep. That's what I was gonna say. I would love to take advantage of half the features. I ain't got my
Yeah.
laptop yet, but anyway, I digress. But yeah, so yeah, that was kind of funny money. So we get to the table, Ken expresses how he doesn't really like that people came up with the okay, babe. It was looking weird. I'm like, wait, what is that? But Ken, brought up he didn't like, that they was encouraging him to leave her because they was going through a rough patch. But apparently they end up leaving each other. But anywho, I digress. So they get into it. And what was that reply to Ken's situation? Oh, that's when Tisha, jumped in and she said, I do want to apologize for thinking, bringing or interfering in your relationship. Now, I personally don't think when Tisha was talking to Trish, what I got from Tisha talking to Trish is I think she was giving her advice and not necessarily taking, taking with the people, the stuff that people come back and say with a grain of salt. I don't think Tisha was necessarily trying to interfere in it because she did follow up with, look, like somebody's trying to run up to me and talk about, oh, he be in the DMs. But I'm just, and she, right after that, she said, listen, people said a lot of things about me and my marriage too. I wouldn't necessarily believe or fall too much for what people say. So I didn't take it as Tisha was, thank you. Right. But yeah, black women, yeah. That part right there, Susie. I don't think that Tisha was coming from a malicious place like what has been done to her. So, but I appreciate her apologizing because maybe, Ken took it that way because of how Trish brought it back. They try to make that a thing. And even Marcel got on Tisha about that. How you going, I'm doing that, and you see what people try to do to our marriage and blah, 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 whatever. But
But
anyway,
he
Tisha,
got the same thing. That's the crazy part. In last week's episode, he did the exact same thing after getting on the Tisha for doing it. Here's the thing: Tisha said after she apologized to Ken at the table, she said after he did his thing about he thought that being in the group would be more positive.
right.
Seeing that they were a new couple. And Tisha spoke up and she said, I want to apologize, about the DM, so on and so forth. And she said, she didn't have all the facts. She didn't know if they were true or not, but she was having a girlfriend to girlfriend conversation with Trisha. And I think that's
Right.
fair. Because if I'm
I think
talking
that's fair
to a
too.
friend, we may talk about things that no one else should know, right? I'm not thinking
Right.
that girlfriend who I'm having a girlfriend to girlfriend conversation with is gonna go have pillow talk with her man and tell him what I just told her. You know what I'm saying? So I think her words
Right.
out of context.
It
In that
was. Yes, Sarah. They forever twisted Tisha's words. But, I applaud for Tisha for apologizing because, like I said, when she was talking to Trisha, she wasn't coming at Trish like she was trying to carry a bone like we done seen other people do in the past. She was
right,
actually just, giving her advice like, when it comes to your relationship, keep out the outside noise. That's basically what Tisha was trying to say. I did hear some nonsense and she's just keeping the buck with it. Somebody tried to roll up on me, talk about, oh, your man's and somebody. And she, like I said, she was just trying, tell her to be mindful to keep the outside noise. You know what I mean?
right.
Exactly. I don't. Yeah, and people interpret it as if even Marceau interpreted it as she was being messy, and I don't think that was the case
No,
at all.
I
You know.
definitely I
And
don't
what I don't like too, what I see when Tisha has conversations, when they're sitting down as couples, as a friend group, and everybody's having a conversation, even if it's just the women talking, they seem to somehow always try to make it seem like Tisha's carrying bones and this and that. No, they're amongst each other. They're amongst women. Something that, we probably all do in our girlfriend groups. We talk about different things that we experience in our relationships, try to, get advice from each other and stuff like that. I don't necessarily think the picture that they're trying to paint that Tisha does all this spreading and all of this. I don't get that. Because I know that she catch a lot of flack too in the comments. Oh, well, here you go. You don't like nobody talk about your marriage and da 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 da. And Tisha's not coming back. Oh, well, I heard this and da 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 da. She, Tisha asks questions before she go into, oh, well, this is what somebody told me and X, Y, and Z. And, so I just don't like that narrative that you're trying to paint about Tisha, about that bone carrier business.
But can I just say this? This is something that I did mention. I put in my notes that I took, is that Tisha has to be very careful about how she talks. And I think it's coming it's backfiring on her. We saw it in two different ways. What is your deal breaker? Tisha started that on episode 1, season 1. That was her conversation. Right. She also went around talking about, she hadn't experienced infidelity in her relationship. She said that over and over and over, right? So when it came down to sitting up and talking to her girlfriend to girlfriend, those very words were used against Tisha. You know what I'm saying?
They were
definitely. Even Martell used those words against her at the table about the deal breaker. And she didn't fall for it, because when he asked her, what's your deal breaker, Tisha? And she goes, he knows what my deal breaker is. I applaud her for not responding, because he was really trying to get Tisha out of character. Is one thing I know is that Tisha does know how to respond to people. And she did, like, he knows. He already knows there's no need to me respond. No need for me to respond. Right. He already knows. But the very fact that she is having to learn a lesson about friends. You cannot go around. These people, not only, even though Ken and Trisha are new, they are fans of the show. They were watching the show, and they know all of the crap that you've gone through with your husband. So for you to get out here, because you did it with Nell and Fletch as well, you asked them, what was her deal? But have you ever dealt with infidelity in your marriage? You said that almost the first time you sat down with them once they were actual cast members, Letitia. And I think that's just something that she just has to learn, may not be appropriate. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to conversation she had with Trisha, I don't think she was being inappropriate. But I do know that there are times that she can be inappropriate. And I'm just being fair. I'm not calling anybody. I'm just being fair. I believe Tisha just is going to have to learn that she cannot sit down and tell these people that she ain't dealt with X, Y, and Z, but they have. And somehow or another, my life is super perfect, because that's the way it comes off. You know what I mean? Did I lose Butterfly? Or did she lose me? Somebody's lost.
Yeah, I went on mute. I pressed the wrong thing. Hey, LaShonda, welcome. Yeah. I can agree with that. They all have had messy moments when it comes to the relationship. None of them are exempt. I can agree with you on that, LaShonda. Welcome. By the way, I don't think I've ever seen you.
Welcome in the chat. Welcome LaShonda to the chat. Hey, Sparkles. Y'all welcome LaShonda.
Sparkle, boo.
Welcome. Put it in the chat. It's spam around.
Sparkle coming in here, being Sparkle. Talk about the queen of love and Mary Huntsville, girl. Sparkle, you gonna get them people mad, girl. Sparkle gonna get them people mad.
They're gonna really talk about it tomorrow.
Okay. Right, Michelle. So that's why I didn't have a problem with her saying that. I think people took it personal when she said that, she didn't experience it. And I don't understand why it was taken so personal. She was speaking of her experience in her marriage. And it's unfortunate, because ever since she's made that statement, they've been hell-bent on proving that this man cheats on her. Even now, to this day, they still talk about this. Even with the conversation they had, they still talk about, oh, he got somebody else. That's why he ready to walk out the marriage. It's just like, Lord. They just for some reason, it makes them want her to experience it. Or I don't know. I don't know. I just don't get the need they have for wanting Tisha to experience quote unquote infidelity in her marriage.
And
It's just weird.
I think in particular it is because of what she said, right? Not anything in particular. I think it's because they feel like that Letitia, and it's not just Tisha. Here's the thing. I don't think it's just oh, thank you, LaShonda. I don't think it's just from Letitia. I think that if you add the layer of Marsal and his condescending ways and behaviors and conversations to it, that's where you get where Tisha kind of sometimes takes the fall for things that Marsal says as well. You know what I'm saying? Butterfly back over there playing with that mute button.
Lord, I sure am, girl. Oh, God. I don't know what, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely, Sarah. And that's the thing that bothers me is like, they ain't found no proof. And even if he passed a lot of tests, they're gonna say he cheated on that too. You know, I mean, even they went as far as to say some random picture of a back. Like, there's nowhere in hell, and it was a blurry picture of a back at that. You know what I'm saying? Even when they came up with the chick, who was it? Another content creator came up with some chick that sent her some DMs, and they end up coming to find out the girl was calling down to the dang Credit One office and not really calling Mars. So it was just, it's just been,
And
you know.
don't forget the hair lady. What was her name?
Oh yeah, yeah. Remember I told you the grease about that.
Yeah. Don't forget her.
Yeah. I forgot her name too. They end up doing a live with her, and you know, and the crazy thing is, you know, somebody that was supposed to be her friend is the one that tried to throw her under the bus allegedly and tag that on. You know what I'm saying? And allegedly, apparently, they fell out after that. You know what I mean? But yeah.
So
And there was another woman they pulled out the cut that's a part of the AKAs that went and left real quick. That didn't really get a lot of traction, but I remember that situation too. Homegirl's daughter had to come out and rec check real quick. And that was, you know, yes, Alonda. Thank you, Alonda. Yeah, that's her name. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's real unfortunate. So yeah, they continue to talk. You think their issue started because of their husbands? So what do you mean you think what do you mean it started because of their husbands?
I kind of think I agree with that too, LaShonda. I do. Martell and
Well,
Maurice, Marsol and Martell were all. Remember, they are the ones. They started going at it hard in the
they
like.
did.
That's where Team
Yeah.
Hope actually popped up in there at. Remember? So
Yeah. I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. And but you know, to me that was still new, so I don't think they figured out how the confessionals work. But where is where they lost me at, right? Because they would sit in their confessionals and make slick comments too, and I didn't see the rest of the cast members really taking it personal the way that Martell, and I don't even really think Martell really took it all that personal until old girl got in his ear and was chow wowing. You see what I'm saying? Because they all talk slick in their confessionals. So I never understood why it was took it so personal with the things that, you know, the rest of the cast members were saying they confessional when Martell and that lady used to talk slick in their confessionals.
Well, and
You
that lady,
know,
she actually she she actually put a lot of the wheels in motion when it comes down to the dislike and the hatred that Letitia receives. She didn't
oh
only do
yes,
it, she did it to several other cats, Destiny, Stormy, Nail at one point, Kimmy. So the list goes on and on when it comes down
right.
to the amount of hate that these people have received, even so much as calling down to their jobs and doing all kinds of stuff to them. So
Right, writing letters and get products taken out for stores, stalking people down to their businesses and showing up at their house. It got real ugly. And the excuse was they was bullying her. And I don't, and here's where they was talking out the both sides of their neck to me, because they claimed that she was being bullied, but in the same breath, anytime she would do something disparaging or disrespectful, Oh yeah, that's right, girl. Handle them, girl. Get them, girl. So where was she being bullied at? Like, they try to have it both ways, and I could, I never understood that because they try to make it seem
I
like
never saw her being bullied.
me
Never.
neither
Now, one episode did I see that she was being bullied. So that
at
totally
all.
agree with that. Yeah. Who was
Cause
bullied?
remember, like, even like I said, when she had Tisha escorted out, Kimmy stayed.
Right.
Matter of fact, when it was discussed 1.0 against the so-called Hulks, it was just them. It was Tisha Marceau, Martell and Maurice. I mean, old girl.
And Tisha
You see
sit
what
down.
I'm saying?
After she escorted out, she was defeated. She sat out in that car and cried.
She did.
Yeah, you can't say that anybody's bullying you and you're actually the bully. Stop. No.
Right. That's why I never understood that rhetoric at all. You know what I'm saying? And then to come to find out, she the one who told Tisha about the matching BMWs.
Right. And told them not to tell nobody.
Girl. So it's just a lot of stuff that make no sense. Then you the one to come out here doxing them and just doing all this crazy stuff. Want somebody to lie about their taxes, want somebody to bring up their bankruptcy, and then turn around and made up all these excuses for why you filed for bankruptcy as if you didn't file. It was just, like I said, a lot of projecting. And that's why I couldn't even get with that whole homegirls being bullied situation.
Yeah,
Because at the end of the day, when she was going up against Letitia, Kimmy stayed out of it. Let's not forget that Kimmy and Tisha fell out because Kimmy stayed so far out of it.
True.
They had a whole falling out behind Tisha feeling like Kimmy didn't have her back. So I never understood how they claimed that woman was getting bullied at all.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing that they have thrown up forever was the very fact that when they did that massage at Basement Bullet's house on the outside, remember they had those massages, and the Kimmy and Letitia told her that they felt like she was bougie. I believe that's what she used as her instrument of saying that they were bullying her. I think that was the catalyst or whatever she was calling them bullying her.
Right. And what I found, I'm glad you said that because you're right. That's when the catalyst did start. And at the end of the day, it was that she was bougie and that she act like she ain't got time for nobody,
Right.
which is a pattern that we come to find out that that's a pattern that she absolutely had. And it took 5 seasons for her to admit, oh yeah, when filming stopped, I don't answer my phone. I don't want to be bothered. I need to decompress. And that's basically, I mean, because that was a 2-part conversation. They said, we think you're bougie. You are full of yourself. I mean, she was literally sitting up there taking selfies as they was talking to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, boom, come on. You are a little self. She was a little self-absorbed. So I don't even know why she got offended by that. Because, girl, you're sitting up there as they're conversating with you, taking a selfie, literally. Had the phone up, taking a selfie. That gave self-absorbed. It really did. They're trying to have a conversation with you and you halfway paying attention.
But the sad part is she didn't see herself that way. And that's the super sad part.
Yeah.
She felt justified in whatever she was doing. We don't got so far off the script. Let's get back to this table.
We did.
Ken going off.
Oh, yeah.
Where kids actually talking.
I mean, because it all ties into what they're dealing with now. You know what I'm saying? It does tie into what they're dealing with now. So, they apologize. Martell brings that. Oh, we forgot. Kendall brought up because Tisha was like, well, what you've heard. And my thing is Tisha did try to ignore it, but he kept saying it. And I get it. If you're going to say what you heard, then you might as well say what it is that you heard. So I didn't see Tisha was wrong for asking him what he heard. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But apparently you could tell Marceau was sitting up there. He was getting so mad. He wanted Letitia to leave it alone.
He was aggravated so badly. And the sad part is he was so aggravated, he took his aggressions out on his wife in front of everyone. This is why I say Marceau never protects Letitia. This is why Destiny said Marceau never protects Letitia, because he left her in a vulnerable state after they resolved everything at the table. He took her off and left her vulnerable sitting out by the campfire. But go on, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Girl, the fact that he got mad that Letitia wanted to hear, they brought up the so-called the back room and the black and the orgies and all of that. I mean, he compared them to Diddy, but the orgies and all of that.
He said, I wouldn't
So
say Diddy, but we're getting close to it. That's what I took it as. Yeah. I
right,
agree.
that's exactly what he
Mhm.
said. So, and I mean, apparently, I guess those are the rumors down to the Huntsville streets. I don't. The thing about it is, I just don't know how many rumors are really from the Huntsville streets or how many rumors that was picked up off the internet and brought to the Huntsville streets, because we know that there was a whole big campaign of a whole bunch of salacious things being put out about the other cast members. So,
Well, well,
and
you
that's
know
what
what?
makes me wonder how much of it came from the Huntsville streets and how much was it came from the internet and then made it to the Huntsville streets. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Because that black situation with the back room and you know what I'm saying and all of that, and Tisha says she didn't believe it, which she has a right to. I mean, but yeah, but
But you
Marceau got so upset
know,
that what's the day? Oh, you practically begging him to say it. Calm your nerve. I ain't Tisha. I ain't begging for shit.
I ain't paying you for shit.
Okay,
What you
yeah,
talking
okay, so Donnie, I see. What are you talking about? We're having the
about?
conversation.
Right. He and
Why
he
can't
we
I
open
say
up
what?
the door. Here's the thing is, why can't he tell me what he's talking about or what he's
Right.
heard? What is the big deal, Marcel? Why do you have a problem with him telling me what he's heard?
Yep. And that's the sad part. He absolutely did because and Atisha admitted that because of all these salacious rumors and things that have happened, it did cause issues in their marriage.
Right. She said that at the table.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess I can understand why he got a little irritated because I don't think. Yeah, they do. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, I don't know. I don't really necessarily believe that that's the rumors on the Huntsville streets as much as I believe that that was something that was taken off of the internet and brought to the Huntsville streets. Because
But
what I do
can I
know
say
is
this
the
though?
mamma jammers down to that Huntsville, baby, they live on the internet. All of them. The whole
Oh,
community.
yes. But I'm gonna
The
say
whole
this,
community.
and I'm gonna be like Miss Dr. Hebley, I ain't taking it back. One thing I know about growing up in a rural town in the South, and I'm being very frank and very honest, is that people in those small towns, because Huntsville, although it is a bigger town in Alabama, is still rural. They actually thrive off of rumors. Literally, they'll start a rumor about anything, and that comes because I grew up in leaving a big city, and I grew up in a small town when my parents retired, being their youngest kid,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't tell you the rumors I heard that I knew were not true, not they wasn't even rumors about me, but about people that I was in close proximity to. And then sometimes they were about me. But I cannot tell you how many rumors that I've heard that were not true. And country folks spread them faster than anybody.
They
Literally.
do.
I posted
They
that one
do.
day on my Twitter, and you know what? Maurice responded. He said, "You have never." This is a true statement because country people do that. And I'll tell you why I say that. When we moved to the little town we lived in, they had a little newspaper, right? And we were used to
Mm-hmm.
get a big newspaper because we came from a big city. So my mama ordered for a subscription for the newspaper to be delivered. So they brought
Mm-hmm.
newspapers out to the house, and my mom would read the newspapers. Well, in their newspaper, it was a section where they would say, on Tuesday, Sally Joe went over to Miss Michael's house and they had tea. And they talked about the trees. And I'm just making up something, but this is the gist of what the paper in the article in the paper would say. And it would say, oh, and they had high tea and they enjoyed the day. And Miss Sally went home and made it home very safely. It would be article after article of gossip in the paper. So you have a small town who has thrived. And if you go back through even ancestry, and you pull up some of those old newspaper articles when we find where our ancestors lived in 1957, they were living in Polk City, Texas, or Polk City, Alabama. They'll tell you that they're found in newspaper articles where it will say Sally Joe lived at 3724 Adelia Street in Polk City, Texas. I'm telling you, I wouldn't know this, but I do research and I do a lot of ancestry work. I was doing some this weekend, and a lot of times that's where I find our loved ones on, because those newspapers were gossip sections. So when the big cities
Right,
were moving out of the gossiping and moving more into the news, those country and rural areas kept the gossip going. So I guarantee
right.
you, the gossip runs around Alabama. I guarantee you.
Oh man, I have no doubt it's running rampant in Huntsville. And I'm gonna be honest with you, my experience, because I grew up in a big city, but I spent half my family from Pittsburgh, so I spent a lot of a good time in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh is the very same way. And it's rural. It's kind of like Southern, and a lot of the people in Pittsburgh migrated from the South, so they
Mhm.
have a Southern mentality in Pittsburgh, and they definitely operate small town, small mind. When I just be in town visiting, I swear to God. I don't know. When I finally got my license, I'm riding around town. Now, everybody know familiar with my grandfather's car. So they knew when I was driving it, because my grandfather drive slower than Miss Daisy. Okay. So they knew when I was in the car. And sure enough, by the time I got back to the house, oh girl, you did it. You was down here, and I heard you went through a stop sign and
Oh Lord.
baby. And like I said, there is much, and it is Pittsburgh, especially the part where my family that is royal, is rural, so it's not like Philadelphia. First of all, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia are 4 hours apart. Philadelphia is
Oh,
more of a city than Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is really rural, a lot of hills, a lot of mountains, a lot of small town. So they like I said, they derive from the South to work in the steel mills. So a lot of them still operate with a Southern mentality, and they operate like kind of like the South do.
right, right.
So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with that. I've seen it way too much, so I do agree that they probably do gossip a lot more than we know, and that may be where some of those rumors start from. Because, child, I have heard even when friends I went to high school with, they'll call me and be like, so and so. I'll be knowing who they talk about. But I'll be like, oh, just keep the conversation flowing. And child, they'll tell me somebody's whole life history. And I don't even know who they talking about. Then when I hear it again from another cousin or family member, I be like,
yep,
oh, somebody else told me that. I don't even remember who
right,
told me. But I'm like, somebody
right,
told me that. Oh yeah. So then you know that it's a true rumor. But sometimes you hear rumors that are totally false that there's no way they could be true. Just why.
right. I mean,
Anyway,
even in the city though, they spread rumors in the city too. But like I said, it's totally different
right.
than
Totally different.
being in a rural area like Huntsville. So that's why I said, even though Will said that's what he heard, for all we know, that could have been stuff that came off the internet and was brought to the Huntsville streets. Because,
Right.
like I said, I feel like a lot of things that they even do talk about down to the Huntsville, they get off the internet. Because
Oh
them people live on the internet.
yeah. I'm
You
sure.
best believe it. Yeah. Let
So
me see. When people have said the Scots, especially 2.0, don't show their real lives, Kimmy has said they can't address things people make up in their heads. I agree with that, Michelle.
yeah, there's nothing they can
And
do
I
about
think, yeah, and I think that was the mentality of Marceau and Maurice. They didn't really want to bring life. Even Kimmy, I think even more so than Letitia, didn't really want to put any life into the things that they was hearing. Because I think now Kimmy's finally getting wore down. I
it.
don't think it affected her as much in the beginning, but I do think it affects her more now.
But butterfly, can we say this honestly? Um,
Mhm.
even though it may not have affected them, right? It may be safe to say that some of those rumors were put out about the Scots 1.0 and 2.0 from another castmate. You know what I'm saying? Just like the tax.
Right.
Remember the tax? Oh, they paid somebody to go into my taxes. How, Sway? That's not how taxes work. You see what I mean?
Right. That part. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's why I said I think for Kimmy it's more affecting her now than I think Kimmy felt solid. I don't know if something happened because now don't forget now, allegedly rumor has it word on the curve is, um last season or earlier this season, we seen that Kimmy and Maurice was going through it. And
Right.
apparently, allegedly, rumor has it, word on the curve is behind the scenes, they was literally legitly going through it. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I think Kimmy has finally reached her breaking point, and I think it took her a lot longer than it did Tisha, because I think Kimmy really was in love with Maurice, so she really didn't try to pay any of that no mind, even though she was a part of the rumors from the beginning too, especially when it came down to them taking trips to Atlanta and Vegas and all that nonsense came up with the big backs and all that. So, and I think even for that, Kimmy really paid that no mind. You know what I'm saying? But I think Kimmy is finally getting wore down with these rumors and stuff, and she's over it. You know?
Right. 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 And you can't blame her for it. You really
No,
can't
I
blame.
can't. You can't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like I said, even in the beginning of the season, we see that her and Maurice was having a lot of difficulties.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah,
You know they're
yeah.
going to adjust it at the reunion too. That
Oh yeah,
they're
absolutely.
gonna adjust that at
Yeah,
the
because the clip we seen, I can't wait till they put out the extended trailer.
me too.
But the clip they did show, Carlos King did say that, Maurice, you do know that you're the number one hated husband right now, and I ain't gonna lie to you. Shoot, you heard what I said. I'm like, dang, Maurice seems like he's who everybody thought Maurice was. I mean, Marsau was. It's giving Maurice is really who Marsau. Everybody thought
Mhm.
Marsau was because. Maurice wasn't looking too good at the beginning of the season. I ain't gonna hold you.
At
He was
all.
looking real.
Sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
Real sketchy.
Mm-hmm. Hey, girl.
Real sketchy. And
Yeah.
unapologetic for it at that. You have a
He
man
was.
very
He
unapologetic. He actually made it,
yeah.
Kimmy's like, do what? Do what? And he didn't answer it, and then the season ended. Kind of like so we ended the half season with that, and then we end this season with Tisha sitting at a campfire crying. Child, Carlos gonna stop playing with these people in their relationships. That's what he gonna do.
Yeah,
That's
you're right, Susie. I do believe that marriage is difficult. So imagine it under a microscope. And
ooh.
especially when you have a slew of people that are hell bent on seeing y'all marriages fall apart. I don't know. I'm like I said, I just don't know what this fixation is with proving that these men are cheaters and X, Y, and Z. And I just don't get why is that such a vain existence in a lot of these people's existence, Why it's so important to them to prove that Maurice and Marcel are cheaters. Even to this day, I don't get it with no proof at all.
Yeah.
Because I definitely don't bring that hood. I definitely don't believe that hood booger that Martell and Arion brought to the YouTube with the scheme that the Todd set up. Okay, I just don't. I just don't.
Go away from us with this.
Yeah, yes. I remember Tisha acted when they came to Houston and Marceau. Yes, with chatting with Kyra. Yep, I remember that too. Yeah, she did walk up on him like, "Okay, homie." I remember that. And when apparently Marceau and Chris Fletcher went to Atlanta, and there was some unaccounted time. Tisha really, she was in that car crying
Tisha done been
because
she been through it.
she
Tisha done
had,
been through it. Nobody say Letitia has been through it with Marcel. He has drugged this lady through it. This woman sold her apartment complex to get Scout out of the red and get it out of Martell's hands. Am I right or am I wrong?
nope, you're right.
Okay.
Because that's what ain't that what when allegedly this is the charge that they found when they was digging in these people background. That's one of the charges that Marcel got because they was trying to get a tenant out that property or whatever, and he ended up getting into a little jam.
I'm not really sure about that. I haven't heard
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But
Oh
I
yeah,
do
yeah. There
know
was
that
the rumor started.
the apartments were apparently owned by Letitia, and Letitia sold them. We could go a little bit further. The 27 acres. When it came down time to buy the 27 acres, Martell and the BB basement bully went down there and they put their names on the loan for the 27 acres. And you know who else went? Kimmy and Letitia. Where was Marsal and Maurice? They didn't go put their names on there for the loan. See what I'm saying? I really feel
Right.
Tisha has been this marriage has taken a toll on. Just imagine someone who you take a vow with for them to protect you, to honor you, to cherish you, and now they sitting up telling you they feel alone. But you have asked them, "Hey, can you tell me, so and so said you had 20 women. Can you soothe my heart and just tell me no? I can't answer that for you, Letitia."
Right.
Fuck Mar fuck Marcel. And I say that
Yeah.
in all sincerity.
Okay.
Oh,
I guess we're gonna go ahead and get into where they walked away and sat down and have the conversation with themselves. Um, I just don't get the hoopla. Everybody, oh yeah, Marcel, Tisha, she just don't listen. See, she's my thing is what show have y'all been? Are we all watching the same show?
right.
Thank
Right.
you. Yep, she sold her complex to yep, she sold her complex to get Skull out of the ring,
Yeah.
once they bought out Martell. Um, but yeah. So girl, the reverse psychology, brown girls rock. The reverse psychology. When I
They,
tell you,
they don't
Marcel
know.
has already had me pissed from the time they had that conversation about the drywall. And Marceau is definitely a gaslighter. Marceau doesn't believe he's a gaslighter, but he always turns things around. Now, he's been claiming that he feels alone, and I'm trying to think about Marceau is a confusatron
That's
because
what
you say you don't want her to be in business, but then you say you want her to help you. What exactly are you looking for help with? Because she wants you to finish building up her office so she can pull her weight as far as the business go. But in the same breath, you're talking about, oh, I don't really want you focused on business. Oh, I've been doing this all by myself. So when Letitia said that she feel like the construction and black you have been handling, you try to make her seem like she was crazy.
that
Just
part.
for you to turn around and say that you feel like you've been alone. Make it make sense.
Gaslighting,
It's
gaslighting.
definitely gaslighted. So I don't even understand how Marceau don't think it was he ain't been gaslighting this lady. Dude, every time she has come to him, Tisha has been screaming for a minute now. And we know Marceau done said out his own mouth, right? And Marceau done said out his own mouth. When it comes to the family, as far as dealing with things with the kids in school and this and that, he don't want no parts of it. He didn't want no part. We watched him down there with that interview with Carlos King because that pissed me off. Oh, the school better not call me. They better be calling Tisha. And remember, I got pissed off about that because I'm like, dude, what do you mean the school should only be calling Tisha?
That
Why should
part.
the school be only calling Tisha? Why are you not tapped in emotionally with your children? I feel like if you only leaving Tisha to deal with the kids and whatever they got going on, then you're not even tapped in emotionally. And that's what it is because you also sat on that goddamn show when Tisha went away. I forgot where she went to. I think she had so she went away to. This nigga didn't even know his son was allergic to peanuts
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
And I don't know if he was saying that to be sarcastic or if he was being for real. So at the end of the day is Marceau is a confusatron. What it's given is you want Tisha to go back in the house and be a housewife. You know what I'm saying? You really don't want her to do business because you would have been finished her business. And when Letitia did try to help you with the business, you brought in a whole nother dude. What even happened to that dude? Y'all remember homeboy that he brought in? And Tisha was like, oh, I thought that was my desk. Marceau has been making decisions without even checking in with Letitia, but somehow he feels like Letitia needs to check in with him with every decision she makes. I think that should be a two-way street. Am I tripping? I'm sorry, Lady Ro, you're a married woman. Am I tripping?
No, you ain't tripping. You telling it like it is, honey. You telling it like it is.
Marceau is selfish and he's self-centered. And for a minute, if you don't think he ain't selfish and self-centered. I mean, I can't believe all these people talk about, oh yeah, that was real deep. Oh yeah, Marcel and Tisha still ain't listening. Okay, well, neither one of them listening. Because Tisha been complaining about stuff that she ain't happy about, and it's been going over Marcel's head. And what's crazy about it is Marcel thinking that bringing a paycheck home to his family is all he needs to do. And it's evident that he got it from his father, because his father sat down in his face and told him, listen, the one thing I regret is thinking that the only thing I had to do was bring a paycheck home and not be there for y'all. Y'all remember that scene that Marceau had with his family? Not this year when they went to Detroit, but when the father came to town to visit. Mm-hmm. And he told Marceau, listen, don't let being there for your family, thinking that the only thing you need to bring home is a paycheck. That's the one mistake I made with y'all. And that still went over Marceau's head. That still went over Marcel's head, because he's sitting in Tisha's face talking about, oh, I'm doing everything you want me to do. It's called a balancing act. You could bring the breadwinner, but when Tisha try to take the load off of you, asking you to get her office finished, you want to procrastinate. And then you want to make it seem like finishing her office and her getting to be able to sell real estate and do real estate is only benefiting her. That doesn't even make no sense. If you're working for the family, who the hell is she working for?
That's right. Scott Realty has your name on it. The name you want it back, remember? Remember that? Scott Realty. It don't even say Letitia Realty. It says Scott Realty. So at the end of the day, all the money going into the pot. From my understanding, Tisha is supposed to own the majority share of Scolt. Am I correct? So how can you afford to buy her out if she's the boss? I'm gonna tell you something. He gaslit her so much on Saturday night. The one thing every time he would say something, she would debunk it. Tisha said, he asked her, he said, what can I do to buy you out? And Letitia said, she started trying to explain, said, what makes the company, I'm sorry, Tisha, what do you do at the company that makes its value so high? And Letitia began to start trying to explain in her soft voice. She's like, well, I'm not as involved as I used to be. When, the beginning of the company, I tried to be involved, and I tried to help and to build it and I did help build it to where it is today. And, but then you have your team, you're kind of pushing me out. And every time I try to ask you, can I do something? You say, well, such and such is going to do it, or such and such is going to do it. Marcel had one concern, and that was that she was supposed to be coming to a meeting, but instead she had a PTA meeting. And if I know men the way I know men, that probably happened one time. One time he's dangling over her head as though it happened a gazillion times. But if my memory serves me correctly, Letitia is the one who got him the contract to build the hotel. That was under scope.
He did. That was her. She's the one who closed the deal.
All right.
Right.
I was just wondering if I was
right. Like she said, in the beginning, I was there to help you build it up. When we had the children, it's given when we decided it would be best if I was more of a stay-at-home mom. And I do think Tisha wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Now, from my understanding, she was working in the beginning, but she wanted to focus on the kids. And it's, if that was okay with you, now why are you complaining that you're doing all the work by yourself? And then when she tries to hop out of the stay-at-home mom era, because the kids are now in school, they're getting older, she has more leg room to do more with the business, you didn't tell her you don't want her help with the business. Like I said, she come in, and this is the thing that pissed me off. She come in thinking this is her desk, and you have a whole nother Negro sitting at her desk. And you didn't even tell her. She had to walk in the office and see the Negro sitting at her desk.
Right, who are you?
Marceau is crazy.
Insane.
And what I feel like he wants, the Tisha he don't want the Tisha that is finding herself. What I'm really proud about and with Letitia is I feel like this year she is finding herself. This year she is speaking up more, although Marceau is still able to shut her down and be very condescending towards her and talk at her, like she said, because that's what he's been doing, talking at her, not with her or to her, but talking at her, which is correct. Marceau doesn't want Letitia to come into that awareness that she is coming into. He wants it to be Letitia still do whatever he say do. Marceau is having a hard time with the fact that he is not going to be, Letitia is finding her own, and he really don't want her to find her own. That's what it's giving me. I don't know. I could be tripping, but it's giving me that Marceau want her dummy. I mean Martell, yeah, Marceau want her dummied up barefoot pregnant in the crib. Not literally barefoot pregnant in the crib, because I'm quite sure they ain't ready. They don't want no more kids. But you get what I'm saying.
But here's the next thing too. Think about it like this. Letitia's children are getting older, right? I think the oldest daughter is going into high school this year, this coming up year, and then the baby
Yep.
girl moving on up the ladder as well, right on behind her. So as your children begin to get older, they don't need you as much. When they're little, they
Right.
need you a lot. Oldest is going to college. So my thing is when your kids actually start getting older and moving on out of the house, you do. I mean, I had the revelation. That's how I know that she probably is doing the same thing. I remember when my first one went to college, because all of my children are 3 years apart. I was thinking I literally have 6 more years and my baby will be graduating from high school. That's literally what I thought. And I remember sitting there thinking, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do when this kid graduates? I'm gonna have to get to know this man that I live with. Because, Chad, I have spent my identity for the last so and so years trying to raise these kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it becomes, and Susie, the thing is, he can say that. He can say that. But in the interim, why can't she say that? Because when she says it, people post, oh, she's spoiled. Oh, she's selfish. She's this, she's that. But she's been saying this. And if I ask you to tell me that you ain't seeing 20 women's by damn, I want you to tell me that. Because that may be a security blanket for me. Whereas he did. I
Right.
can't tell you that. Now you have left me unprotected. Part of that is being a husband. That's what part of that is. Part of that is being a husband. And you are not operating in your role as a husband if you run it up and you're not protecting your wife. You let Martell talk all up under Tisha's dress. Oh, the back seat of a Buick, and you were sitting right there behind her. And you want
It
me to
went
have
on your face.
first of all, I'll never have sympathy for a man who literally gets on this TV, disrespects his wife, and this same wife always got his back. I'll never protect. I'll never have.
Man, the way Letitia got his back, baby, it don't make no bit of sense. Y'all know I went off. Now, if y'all my members, y'all see my video. Cause I clean went off on Marceau. Marceau has never stood up and stood his ground for Letitia. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. As much as I don't want to agree with these hoes, they was right about one thing. I done seen him speak up for another person more than he's ever spoke up for Letitia. He's always trying to reprimand Letitia, check Letitia, keep her in check, like said, as if she's his child rather than his wife. But when it came to speaking up for somebody else that he didn't really had no business speaking up for and should not have been speaking up for, he jumped to speak up for her. That is a fact. And this is another reason why she gets dragged. This is another reason why people are still running around talking about you want that other woman. Because you have stuck up for that other woman more than you ever stuck up for your wife on this show. On this show. But then you want to sit around and tell her that she carrying your name and she need to watch her behavior while you get to run around and do whatever the hell you want to do? Make it make sense. And then if you feel so alone, and Tisha told you she felt alone, you clearly have left Tisha to be a housewife and only handle the things in the house and the kids, and you haven't been there to help her with that. She sat there and told you, this is what I'm talking about with Marceau and the way he operate, right? He don't check in with Letitia. Letitia said, listen, you remember you told me to make a list. I made a list. And on the list, I put that Rome was something I wanted to do as a family. Marceau took it upon himself to want to take MJ. Let's clear that up too, because everybody talk about he went to Rome again on another trip like he did Africa. No, it wasn't the same. He took his son to Rome. And I highly doubt this Negro would bring another woman to Rome while he got his son there. That don't make no sense. So can we just kill that nonsense? But at the end of the day, what he did was what he always do. He don't check in with Tisha about no decision he making. He went ahead and bought them tickets and told Tisha after he bought them. How much you want to bet that that's how that went down?
I totally agree with you 100%. Hey, Miss Mary.
So here's where Marceau pisses me off. He don't got to check in with Tisha, but Tisha need to check in with him. That's selfish. And it's self-centered. Even if you're the head of the household, I don't even got a problem if you want to go the old school route and you the head of the household. But I thought even back in the day when the man was the head of the household, they still checked in with their wife. They ultimately made the ultimate decision, but they still checked in with how their wife felt before they made the ultimate decision. Marcel don't check in with Tisha about a god darn thing. So for him to sit up in her face, talk about, oh, I feel alone and you don't do this and you da-da-da. Nigga, what are you talking about? You treat Tisha like she your child. You don't check in with her on no decisions that you make.
And here's the next thing.
What was like Letitia? I said, I feel like you bought them tickets to Rome for you and MJ behind Letitia's back.
I agree with that. But where was Letitia when he was running to the Chick-fil-A to meet up with Basement Bully? What her and her husband was going through. I'm telling you, this man has never protected Letitia. Never.
Nope.
Never protected.
Okay, living for me. That's what I thought. I thought that's how that went. Like I said, I don't have a problem with a man running the household, but by golly be God, I be damned if we don't sit down as husband and wife and make decisions together, even though if we ultimately go with how you want to do things, you still get my input and how I feel. Marceau does not do that with Letitia, and it's evident that he doesn't.
Right?
It's very evident that he doesn't do that with Tisha. He makes decisions and then he tell her later. He don't even give her a heads up. Okay, this is a decision I made.
Right, because God gave her a smart husband. and it's only for the smart husband to give her all the information. She don't have no information. Just the smart
She don't have none. She ain't got diddly squat information. Cool. Like I said, Marceau wants an ultimately submissive woman that he can dumb down. Because at the end of the day, he definitely has dumbed Letitia down. He's dumbed Letitia down. I believe the way that Marceau comes off to Letitia, it has halted her in speaking up. And she admitted that when she was sitting down talking with Kimmy. She says that he gets me to the point where I just don't even want to say nothing. And we've watched how he talks to her. Very condescending, very like, girl, what do you do? Like she is slow or something.
Right. Right.
And Tisha conformed to that because I believe that she thought she was doing the right thing. But I think she's waking up and figuring out, no, that ain't necessarily the right thing, homie. Even when the bottle of wine, remember the bottle of wine situation came out when they dropped the chocolate and he took it upon himself to go drop somebody else a bottle of wine and didn't even tell Letitia.
Right. Right. She has to accept all that on the chin. And keep on.
She has to accept all that on the chin and keep it moving and be proud that you bring a paycheck home. Negro.
Right. That's right.
Marceau is a very chauvinistic, egotistical, selfish person. Now, I'm sorry, he's very selfish. You can hard work for your family all you want, but the decisions that you make when it comes down to your family, you're not checking in with your wife. So to turn around and then try to turn it on her, making it seem like she's all over the place and you don't know what she's doing. No, you're becoming uncomfortable because she is finding her voice. You can no longer just shut her down, tell her what you want, and she don't have no say so. That's what you're getting uncomfortable with. That you're not feeling lonely. That's a bunch of crock. How could you feel lonely when you don't even want her working with you? That don't even make no sense. That's a bunch of crock. You're getting upset and you're not knowing what to do because Letitia is finding herself and she's finding her voice. Something that she obviously hasn't had for a huge part of this marriage.
But let's say this. Let's say that he is lonely. Let's just say that he feels alone. Because he said he's not lonely. He said he felt alone, but he wasn't lonely. He tried to make there a difference. So let's say that he just feels alone. Let's say that all of that is true. And he has every right to feel alone. But you're expecting the same person who you say you're feeling alone while being a part of to comfort you, and she also has told you she felt alone as well. Not only that, you've also left this person out almost to fend for themselves, almost to either sink or swim. Never that arm to reach out and pull her in. Never that comfort that she needed when the tears started to fall. Always belittling her in front of the crowd, the group. Always, oh, you shouldn't say this. You shouldn't. Everything she says, he has to correct it or he has to give her leadership and guidance. I'm going to tell you something. Those Scott men prove when they sat down on this episode together and talked that these two have an alliance, Marceau and Maurice. Because I took a bunch of notes, honey. When I say I took notes on this, I got 6 pages of worth of notes. When Maurice and
Girl.
Marceau sat down, Maurice said he wanted to talk to Marceau said he wanted to talk to Maurice because Maurice knew better. Here's what he said. Marceau said the dinner conversation went left. Maurice is a Scot, and as a Scot man, we know we hold this thing dearly that we have to outthink our opponents, not outtalk them, outthink them. Marceau said he thinks it would be handy to remind Maurice who they are and what they stand for, just not the Scott brand. You can't tell me that these two think that they're better than everybody, the masses. That's the reason why he said that Letitia them came from the other side of the tracks. The Scots think they are far better than anybody else. They better than Martell. That's why he couldn't stand the very fact that Martell was out here moving the way he was. That they was considered the couple of the year or whatever they were doing in Alabama. Marceau had an issue with that. That's why him and Martell kept butting heads. That's why they kept butting heads. Because the Scots think they are far better than everybody else.
I would have to agree with you with that. And I definitely agree. That's why he made the comment about the other side of the tracks. And see, he was able to get away with that because he didn't grow up in Huntsville. He grew up in Detroit. Come to find out, he grew up on the other side of the tracks too. So that was definitely ignorant and arrogant of him to say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another way that he left Tisha out there to dry. Mm-hmm. Because Tisha told him right then and there in that scene, when you say things like that to me, that reminds me of how I was being bullied and picked on.
I agree.
It took Marceau until last year when they had that AACP situation for him to apologize for making that comment. It took you 5 years to apologize for that comment? 5 years. Let's just be clear.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy work. Just to come to find out your mother's locking chains on the refrigerators. You barely had food. You barely had clothes. Y'all didn't have nobody. Your daddy was in jail. It sounded like you came from the other side of the tracks down into the good old D to me too. So what in your mind made you even say that comment? Because, like you said, Lady Rowe, they do have this air about they better than.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is what those words I just read to you is what he said on the episode this past week. That he needed to remind Maurice that he was a Scot. And that Scot men, they outthink their opponent. They don't out-talk them. When I tell you these men have an arrogance about them that is so disgusting, but this is someone who's alone. He feels alone. You deserve to be alone because you don't know how to treat people.
He doesn't know how to treat people. He doesn't. Because like I said, that even that whole situation down there to that game day, Marceau lit that match. Because you know god darn well that man wasn't doing no revenge pee on that woman. And so for you to sit up in that man's face and play that role, you lit that match.
Yeah.
You lit it and then you left your wife vulnerable. Mm-hmm. Because guess who he started attacking? Your wife.
Your wife.
So Marceau definitely has a way about him, and he definitely knows how to get under people's skin. And I just find it, like I said, I just find the way he treats Letitia and Lee just leaves her out there to be real heartbroken. And Letitia just steady, just it gives me that she's still trying to prove to this man how much she love him. All in the while when this man really know how much she love him, because she done put up with a lot of stuff that we done seen all the couples say that they wouldn't put up with from Marceau, including Kimmy. Maurice done stuck up for Letitia more than Marceau has.
Right. You know what my mom used to say? She said, when you get sick and tired, ain't nobody gonna have to tell you to leave. You'll leave all your stuff behind. to get rid, to move on with your life. You will. When you truly get sick and tired. I ain't trying to tell Tisha to leave, but how much longer you gonna stay there and let this man treat you like this, talk to you like this, without there being some type of resolve or therapy involved?
Other thing that pissed me off, because when Letitia tried to get them to go to therapy, he didn't want to go to therapy. And that's my other thing. These men think they don't need therapy, and they definitely need therapy. Maurice, when he sat in that therapy session and finally spoke, opened up, because he didn't want to do it at first neither, but he finally opened up. For whatever reason, they still operate in this mindset that they don't need therapy. They, like you said, they can figure it out. They Scotsmen. Wow. Obviously, you can't figure it all out, and you need therapy because y'all communication is off. Y'all are both saying the same thing that y'all want from each other, and Tisha ain't hearing you. You ain't hearing Tisha. It's a two-way street. Y'all ain't hearing each other. So why not go to therapy and try to figure that out and get that in order? You went from wearing your ring to back not wearing your ring. Like you it's just a lot of things that you do is just disrespectful. You wore your ring for 5 minutes and now it's back off your finger. Ain't that much construction work did you do in the world that you couldn't even put that on a chain and tuck it in your shirt if you ain't gonna have it on your finger? That's diabolical.
Very much.
It's diabolical. And like I said, I just don't. I guess you don't. You're not a. What you say? He say he's not lonely, but he feels alone.
He said he feels alone. He's not lonely. That's a big difference.
Yeah, you feel alone because Letitia is no longer being your little fetching dog. That's what you feel alone about. You can't no longer just say whatever you want to say to her, do whatever you want to do, and she not speak up. And then when she speaks up, you're not hearing her. You walk out. You literally walk out on her. And I think
instead of having a decent conversation, he stands up and he says, "Fuck it." And Letitia say, "Fuck it then."
Right. Come on. No, I don't want to come with you. Then you want to try to be nice and wipe the little white thing off her forehead. Then a lot of people think he tapped her on her head. He didn't tap her on her head. I don't know if y'all noticed, but they both had stuff all over their head. I don't know if it came from the trees or whatever. Marceau had that white stuff on his head too. But Letitia had a dead smack in the middle of her forehead. That's what he was wiping off. And I find that kind of I found that condescending. You just told me fuck it and all this, and now you want to be nice and wipe something off my head. Man, get the fuck. And I think Marceau does that a lot to Tisha.
Yeah. But just imagine you just had a great night. You go to have a conversation with your husband and you end the night crying. So much is so that she says, "I don't even want to be here anymore." You're at a retreat.
Right.
You're supposed to be relaxing, releasing, and being revived. And you got somebody laying some heavy mess on you. Right? And he says, "Oh, I need a wife that's going to listen to me when I'm trying to talk." Why did God give you a smart husband if you're not going to listen to him? He keeps
basically saying, and that's his mindset.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out at what point that Tisha has not listened to you. Because that's all she's ever done is listen to you.
Much for me.
And I'm not saying that she shouldn't listen to you, but like I said, you should be listening to her input too and taking into accountability how she feel. Marceau is, like I said, selfish. He want Letitia to take into accountability how he feel, where he really ain't breaking down why he feel alone. Because that was a legit question Letitia asked. You're being a confusion right now. Because when I did try to, you know what I'm saying, what is it that you feel alone in? Exactly. That's what I needed him to break down. What do you feel alone in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this show anger. Because she was like, what do you know? Yeah, you're right, Susie. Her face did show anger. And then, like I said, as he kept going, it just turned into hurt.
Right.
Because I think she was in disbelief. You're really sitting up here talking about you feel alone. What are you talking about? And then you give an example of me bringing you lunch. I've always brought you lunch at work. Mm-hmm. Why you can't take me out and celebrate me as your wife?
That part.
I'm always thinking of something to do to keep the love going in our relationship so you don't feel alone. And you're always shutting it down.
And
And
if
that's
you
basically what Tisha was saying.
he also said in there, he says, um, he made a comment about her always talking about other people's relationships, right? And in the meantime, or in the interim time, her husband's at home hurting. Did y'all hear that?
Yes, I did. And that's another thing. You feed into the shit. Oh, oof.
I'm trying to find it in my notes so I can read his exact words.
He
Um,
did say that.
he
But
said,
yeah,
"Y'all."
he definitely said that.
He said that while I'm going and telling people about what they should do in their marriage, my man is
Right.
begging for help. My man is begging me to listen to him. I won't even listen to the man who has dedicated his life to me. I want you to know that because that is exactly how I feel.
And I'm trying to figure out what he think Letitia did. What she been dedicating her life to. That was just the most selfishest, pig-headed thing you could have said. Because what has she been? Has she dedicated her life to? I mean, you have really made a fool out of this woman on national TV.
Say it again. For
So, what exactly are you looking like? What are you feeling alone in? I really need him to. I hope Carlos King asked him that at the reunion. What do you is that? What did you mean by you feel alone?
Carlos ain't gonna ask him that.
Right, right, bad girl, Riri. And that's my thing. The same way he feel at work, which I don't even understand how could you feel like that in business when she tried to help with business and you pushed her out. So what exactly do you need her? Like that's what I'm saying. Like I need you to break. I need layman's. I need you to break it down bit by bit. What exactly do you need her to help you with? Because she
Mhm.
helped you raise them kids. She helped you get the business started. And that's the whole point of her wanting something for herself. The same way you claiming that Black and Scope, you do most of the work for, right? And in the same breath, you talking about you feel alone. When she try to come in and help you with it, you don't want her help. Like Marceau is, oof, he's a piece of work.
He never gave her a complete answer on what he wanted her. What was it that he wanted from her? He felt alone, but what was it that she needed to do to make him not feel alone? I really
Now,
feel like,
Mary,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Miss Wilson, what girlfriend? Miss Wilson, you got the proof of the girlfriend? What girlfriend? Miss Mary, can you please get you do you got the proof? Can you DM it to me? Where is this girlfriend y'all keep wanting this man to have? I'm just saying, Miss Mary. I don't know.
It sounds plausible, but there's no factual evidence to back it up.
Oh, I see.
What
Oh,
was that?
okay. Oh, okay. Okay. It's your opinion. Okay, Miss Mary. Got you, baby. Mm. You know what? I would hate for her to be another Tina.
Uh-oh. Really? You would
And
think
I
that?
really think she would. I really think she would be devastated. And a lot of people, I've read a lot of the comments feel like that. And even cause I want to show you a comment that I there's one guy that apparently he felt like what Marceau said was so powerful, and this is why he walked away from his marriage. That man got 8,000 likes on that nonsense. Because
Wow.
it wasn't nothing powerful about what Marceau said. It was gaslighting, it was disrespectful, and it was uh what's the other word I'm looking for? Selfish. Because
Egregious.
at the end of the day, you're not exactly telling her what you feel alone in.
Right.
You want her to play the guessing game. Oh, why you can't bring me lunch? We done did that. She trying to move it along. Can we move it to a new phase? Why you can't take me out on a date?
Right.
Why is that so hard for
It's
you?
so hard. Come on now. Why is that so hard?
They don't make no, oh, you want me to just stop doing what I gotta do. And then when it ain't, that's an excuse. That's a lame excuse.
According to the people, you ain't completing no projects no way. Right?
Right.
According to the people.
He definitely is the king of word salad. Bad girl, Riri. He definitely is the king of word salad. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't necessarily, and I think the fact that a lot of people think that Letitia ain't quick with it, I don't think that's at all what it is. I think that Marceau has done a number on Letitia as far as making her feel insecure and gaslighting her so much that she second guesses herself. I mean, they've been married for 19 years. And unfortunately, it wasn't just the Holtz talking crazy about how Marceau treats Tisha. Kimmy and Maurice has also spoken up on how they think Marceau treats Tisha. Yeah, he does need a reason because he would look crazy because Tisha ain't been nothing but loyal to that man.
Right.
She ain't been nothing but loyal to that man. Been through the ringer with that man, been put through the ring. That's why I told y'all I started to feel like he was getting a hard on by the disrespect that she would be get online because then it would make it seem like she needed him more. I think, I don't know, it's just something weird about how he would show up each season giving them stuff to rag and tag her and drag her about online. So I felt like he was getting a hard on from watching her getting tore down like that. So he can look like the savior. That's what it was giving me. Because there's a lot of ammunition that these people got online to use against her from him. It wasn't just, you know what I'm saying, certain entities that was playing roles. Marceau played a big role in that too. A huge role. And the fact that he was so stubborn, even down to when she wanted to renew the vow. Oh, I don't want to do it.
And he didn't do it either, did he?
Nope. No, he didn't. And that's something Letitia tried to surprise him with, and he just pooped all over it in front of everybody. Once again, I think he gets a hard on from embarrassing her in front of people too. It just it's something about him. He thrives off of that nonsense. That's what it's given. I don't know that to be fact. I'm just giving off of what this man done showed us on this goddamn show. Right. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But okay, Miss Mary said every new vow was it for me, girl.
Me too,
baby.
I would have walked away then. In fact, I'm gonna tell you this: when he started yelling at her at the table about the Ken situation, when he was like, "You keep saying what he do? Tell me what he do? What he do?" I would have hit the table and stood up and said, "You know what? I've had enough. I want out of this marriage." And I would walk because all next season he'd be kissing my ass if I was Letitia. All next season, I would have him on a tightrope, and everywhere I go, I would turn around and bump into him. That's how close he would be on me. Because I would have called his bluff on his bull crap. Let me call your bluff.
And I think Marceau wouldn't know what to do because I'm gonna keep going back to when he thought Letitia thought she was really pregnant. Marceau, you know how you gotta sit still so you don't. Marceau, when he laid up in that bed, Marceau was really trying to keep his composure. Okay, that man was about to lose it. He was about to lose it. So Marceau definitely wouldn't know what to do if Tisha didn't have the stuff that he did to her to him. He wouldn't be able to handle it. And I think they have this sense. I really believe they have this false sense of what manhood is. And I don't think they got a lot of it from their father. Their father admitted that the man worked more than he was ever there. So I think they just came up with these own ideas and they had what they think a man should be. That I don't see them getting it from their father because apparently he wasn't around enough. The father admitted it, so it is what it is. Okay. Then we find out this year that he was away in jail. Nobody knew that. They never talked about that. While you talk about somebody else being from the other side of the tracks, never brought up the fact that y'all made it seem like he was always going on the road to work.
He was at work, I right on that chain gang.
That part. So I don't know where they get their sense of manhood and how a house. I mean, I think like I said, part of it come from the father because Marceau operate how the father operate as far as thinking all he need to do is bring home a paycheck and the wife take care of everything else. And all I gotta do is bring you the money. I don't gotta be tapped in emotionally. I don't gotta be there for the kids emotionally. They just gotta know daddy love them. Daddy going to work. I'm gonna make sure you got money for college. And that's like it's like Marceau didn't even want to be emotionally available for his children. That's what it gave me, and that's what threw me. That's when I was through. When homeboys out there said, "Oh, the school better not call me," that threw me. That totally threw me.
Right.
Why should when it come to your son? Why shouldn't you be? Why shouldn't the school be able to call you? So let me get this right. Who is MJ supposed to get his manhood from? So you're showing MJ that all you got to do is bring a check home and you don't really got to be tapped into your family. Just bring the check home and then you just go off, run the streets all night long and party and hang out with your brother and do everything else. But you ain't got to be tapped in with your family just because you bring the check home. Is that what you showing MJ? But we know MJ ain't going for it because he sat right at that table and said, I would never treat my wife the way you treat my mother.
Yep, that's what he said.
MJ said, I would never, be very clear. MJ said, I would never treat my wife how you treat my mother. So apparently, allegedly, there was some emotional unavailability that man had for his children because he think a check is going to bring that to them. I don't know why he think the money is going to make up for the emotional stability that them children need. It's real weird. Like I said, I don't know where they got their sense of manhood from. It's just weird. Yeah, he protected his mother at that table. He sure did. MJ sure did protect his mother. That's exactly. I didn't know. Okay, I didn't know everyone said that, but that's what I'm telling you. When that man thought she was pregnant by somebody else, I'm telling you, the way Marceau had to lay in that bed real quick to gather himself. That's why he didn't even remember. Maurice went out there. He was like, nah. Yo, when I tell you, you could tell that man was about to explode because he know he had a vasectomy. So in his mind is if he is pregnant, that can't be my baby, and we have a problem, Houston. Baby, I'm telling you, I seen it. I seen it building up in him.
All she need to do is call his bluff one good time. Hit that table a couple of times and make him think you really stole Cone crazy. Tell him this it. I can't take no more. You go your way, I'm gonna go my way. But I'm not.
And I think they did have that moment. I think they did almost walk away from the marriage. They didn't share it so much on the show, but remember last season when they was they at the ring shop getting his new ring? And even when him and Maurice went over there to talk to Martel, and Marceau said, "No, you're wrong," because me and my wife was just about to call it quits. Because I think that's how serious they got for them behind the scenes.
Yeah, because he thinks he's smarter than she is. He's the Lord bless. Why would the Lord bless you with this smart man if you wasn't gonna listen to him, Tisha?
Right. So basically, I don't need you to use your mind in no capacity other than to cater to my needs. That's what that was given. Just use your mind to cater to my needs, and that's it. Oh, I let you go get I let you go get your master's. Let who go do what?
Come on.
You let me.
What year was that?
Girl, you let me go get my master's. You let me go. What? Marceau definitely operates like Letitia's his child and not his wife. Cause I wish a nigga would tell me he let me. No. I that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I was gonna do. Crazy ass. Marceau crazy. Marceau is crazy. So I guess Martell think he got Kimmy to admit that uh cheating wouldn't be a deal breaker.
She kind of did, didn't she? When you believe, I mean, when you take that from that, at least I did.
Um, yeah, I think that what they've been married 7 years now.
Yeah, I think they just made
So I
7.
think in the beginning she was thinking it would be a deal breaker, but then I think going in 17 years in, she's like, yeah, no, I don't know if I would really be willing to give up on my marriage that quick. Which there's a lot of women that stayed around and worked through the infidelity, or just I don't know, Buttercups. I don't know one way or another, to be honest with you.
But you know what she
Um,
did? She said she's noticed after Martell's divorce, she acknowledged Martell because she put her hand up. She said what the
mhm.
children had to go through, and Martell was shaking his head. Yeah, because it's a lot um, for a family to go through, and I think that you don't know how you'll deal with it until you actually are sitting in the situation. And I'm just being very.
Right. Yep.
I think, I think that's a fair call for everybody, all the parties involved. That you don't really know what it looks like until you actually are in the middle of it.
Right.
But I would say this:
Listen, Miss Mary, you ain't lying about that, okay? He would not have asked me for that name. Now, baby, like I said, the way I would have rolled that up on a silver platter and told you to go on about your business.
because baby, statistics tell me, and I run back to the statistics that the legacy lies within the matriarchal part of the family anyway. So, child, I would have rubbed that back in his face real hard. This got me an H.
Right. Yeah,
Yo,
baby. Like I told
had
you, I don't know
dragged me
what type of man they got their advice from, but it's very given. Yeah, nah. Listen, Brown Girls Rock. Listen. I already told y'all between the show and that baby, and I even think with the baby she would have stayed because that wasn't. God bless Maverick, but that wasn't the first time she was pregnant. That was just the first baby she kept.
right.
Let's just keep that a buck.
But
That was not the first time she was pregnant. That was
but,
just the one baby she kept.
but let's back up on that too. It was something that was continuous. She was not okay with him cheating. So he was never going to cheat in peace. And the only thing she could do was walk away because it was never going to stop. And she realized that.
Oh nah, she was willing to let him cheat in peace. Like I said, she was willing to let him cheat in peace because I feel like she felt she cared more about keeping that image that she had going on. Like I said, between the show and because remember, Destiny told you the advice that she was giving. Oh, go ahead. The people will support you. You'll get all type of sympathy, X, Y, and Z. That girl, even with that baby, she would have stayed. I'm sorry. Especially if she was I mean, they all said they was sister wife, and even Destiny. And I
But the
absolutely
reason
believe
why I
that.
say
Arion even said that they used to
she
sit and
wouldn't
have hour-long
stay,
conversations.
the reason why I
Huh?
said she wouldn't stay is because she was gone before the show started. She went back, right?
Oh,
Then did
yeah.
not
Okay, I
stop.
see what you're saying.
That marriage was going to eventually end in divorce. Period. It was.
Yeah,
Regardless of
yeah,
what we
yeah.
think, that marriage was definitely not going to continue. She was there. She left. She went back for the show. She went back with all the wrong pretenses. She was that marriage was doomed. It was doomed because he wasn't going to give up his side piece. So the only thing she could do was leave. She had no other
Right.
choice.
Yeah. I forgot. But that was a well. No, no. They said she actually went and got another apartment and everything.
She was gone. She
And
said
she
she was
started
gone.
other relationships. She had other relationships, even though she
Right.
tried to dumb it down. But yeah, she was dating too.
Yeah, that's okay. Because she said
Yeah,
she
it's okay. They decided they separated. Yeah, they
thought it was
separated.
cool. She said she had already made up her mind she wasn't gonna go back. But my thing is that relationship without him, Martell stopping his other relationship, their marriage was doomed. It wasn't gonna last. That's just it. Because she wasn't content to have a sister wife. Regardless of what Destiny says, Mel was never content for that to be her story. She wasn't. That's why she left originally. telling you, it was never gonna work. And it's unfortunate, but Martell did that to himself. He has nobody to blame but Martell. Because guess what?
Yeah.
If you really wanted your marriage and you knew that sleeping around was a deal breaker, you know what you should have done? Stop sleeping around. But you was letting that little head lead you. And guess what? You're not even with the one you were sleeping around with. Not now. So anyway.
I don't even know if it was the little head. I really think that man fell in love with Arion.
I think so too.
And
I agree.
he became confused. I really think he fell in love with her.
I think he still loves her because even on this trip he talked about her not being there and how much he loved her.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Because I think he would marry her and move on with her. But I think what's holding him back is the backlash. I
And
think he don't want to deal with the backlash.
he promised Basement Bully he would never marry her too. He did promise her that.
Mm. Well, I guess it'll be broken when she finally go ahead and get remarried then, huh?
Isn't it crazy that both of them are holding out?
Girl. I guess listen. Would you say not true? What's not true, Miss Mary? Oh, you don't think Martell won't still marry her or once homegirl get remarried? I don't know, Barry. He might, Martell is impulsive. Okay. So his impulse might be to go ahead and marry her. Yeah. Yeah, Mary. I don't know. Well, allegedly, I don't know if y'all heard this, but allegedly, rumor has it word on the curve is they are actually married. They went to the justice of the peace. They just keeping it on the low low. I don't know how true that is, Buttercups. Don't get me to lying. There ain't no record. Ain't nobody been able to put up no marriage license, but they did spread that rumor that they actually did get married. That they said they went to Ohio to get married, where Arion's originally from. I don't know how true that is, though, Buttercups. That's just rumors. We ain't gonna feed too much into it. Take that with a grain of salt. But they did say that they went and got married in Ohio. Number one, Buttercup, I absolutely don't, but I don't believe he was in love with her no more neither. I think he wanted to keep the unit together for the children. And I think that was his main thing. He wanted to be a family unit for his children, unlike the family unit that he had. Now, I do believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that he was in love with her no more. I do believe that he still loved her because they had built a family together. They had built something together. But I don't think it was in love neither. I think he is always going to love her, but I don't think it's an in love situation either, because if it was an in love situation, he definitely would have been able to walk away from Arion. So yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't feel he was in love. I do believe that he still loved her though. Right, number one, Buttercup. That's why I said for him, I really think it was about keeping it together for the children. And not so much because he really wanted to be in that marriage. I don't know. Did I show y'all the screenshots of all the things he complained about, right? So it kind of like, yeah, like you said, Lady Ro, it was kind of doomed.
Oh yeah, their relationship was definitely doomed. Definitely. Even if they tried it, they did try it. She had the baby, but she
No,
already.
Mary, I don't remember him wanting her to leave Huntsville. I thought she wanted to leave Huntsville. She wanted to move to Atlanta. Oh, I don't remember that, Mary. I do not remember Martell telling her to leave Huntsville. Do you remember that? When homegirl got pregnant?
I don't remember that.
Right. I can't see that. Martell too in love with his children. I tell you that much. That man love his children. He wants to make sure that he's there for his children. So I don't know, Miss Mary. I don't know about that one.
She over there saying that he don't come get him on the weekends. He's supposed to have them no more. So I don't know. Well, I know that the men will walk away if they feel like they can't control the situation. So we're gonna pray for all of them involved.
Oh, she said he don't come get the kids on the weekend and he's supposed to have them?
To say he's really not been doing ever since she's gotten uh,
Full custody.
full custody. Which I don't think she has full. She has where she makes all the decisions. I forgot what they call that. But she said ever since
Primary.
primary custody, she said that he has not been as active as he used to be with the kids. She did say that.
Well, that's sad.
That is sad. She said on his weekends to come get him, he normally has an excuse or two that he's out working or he has, something else he has to do. Yeah.
Well, she's also a liar, so I can only take what she say with a grain of salt too. I hope that's not true. I don't
Oh,
know. I'm just saying, that lady lie a lot, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I,
I,
I I can't see
hope it's not
Martella
true.
being in his kids. I can see him because he does have his builder's license. So maybe it is work. I don't know. And he's getting. Martell learned to move smarter. He learned not to announce what he gonna be doing before he do it because the flying monkeys will definitely try to sabotage it. So, but like I said, I don't know. That lady a liar. I'm not saying that she could be telling the truth, but I just don't know because she's a liar.
Yeah.
That we do know. That lady lie a lot. She's lied a lot over the years. So yeah, it could be true. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird. He wanted to leave a hospital. Him and wait a minute. He wanted to what play? Wait a minute.
He wanted to leave at a hospital, him and Mel and the kids.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Can you rewrite that, Miss Mary?
Yeah, Mel is human, definitely. She is a human. And we're not going to take that from her. She's a human being just like the rest of us.
I mean, well, yeah, Miss Mary. What did we not say she wasn't human? Okay, okay, Miss Mary. I don't know why you told. I mean, ain't nobody said that girl ain't human. We know men lie, women lie, numbers don't. I don't know. That's the saying. Would you listen? Would you say he was so in love he called her a peasant? Listen, Martell was playing a
That
role,
is
baby.
true, though.
Martell was playing a role.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
I mean, but there you go. Well, she couldn't have been much of a peasant. You let her to take your marriage out. So how much? You know what I'm saying? That's why it's like, oh, you can call her a peasant all you want, but he was still slinging that DD over that way.
But
So
here's
how
the
much of
thing.
a peasant was she?
But Butterfly, think about it like this. Men, this just goes back even to Marceau, Maurice, and all of the men out of Huntsville. Even look at Kenny. Remember Kenny called this season. He called Latricia masculine, and then some girl he's been hollering at, he said, oh, she's very soft. And whenever they get sick of somebody or whichever one they want to flaunt that day is
Right.
who gets the
Right.
Timberlake.
Because then he turned around and said he loved Trish, and they gonna try to work it out.
The lie.
Although he'd have called her a liar too. He called Trish a liar and everything else. So yeah. Like yeah.
It's the same situation. It just depends on what's
Yeah.
happening in the moment. Men are they don't operate in the long term. They operate in the right now. What's going on right now?
Right. In the moment. In the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because baby, I don't know what type of peasant that, like I said, I don't know what type of peasant that is that you wasn't willing to start messing with it to save your marriage. So she couldn't
Right.
have been that much of a peasant. So that's why I don't even yeah, it was ignorant to say it on national TV, but I'm gonna go off your actions.
They're broken up in symmetry. They're not together. Not right now. Not as of like last week or a week before last. She was actually online and said something about it, about them Martell not being with her, and supposedly she went back to wherever she's from, Ohio or whatever.
Oh, she's in Ohio.
That's what I believe. She went back home with her mom.
Yeah, Ariana girl, yeah. At this point, you need to stop. Yeah, you need to move on too, girl. Is she still in nursing school?
I think she's finished. I believe she's finished. I think that's what I read.
Yeah, I
She's
don't
wasted
blame her.
a lot of her good years.
She
Trying to
did
work
because
with
he
him.
met her. She was young. She met her in her 20s. He met her in her 20s.
Yeah. 23 wasn't
Hmm.
really young. She's wasted a lot of her good years. Man, time you'll never get back, you don't waste it on a no good nigga.
Well, I'm glad she got her LPN and she can go on. You know, like I said, she did go back to Ohio. Good for her. Good
Yeah.
luck to her. Hopefully, she finally move on. You know, because baby, it's been a tumultuous what? How long was they just doing this back and forth? Like dang,
Long,
decade and a half.
long time.
Yeah, it was a long time. And Arion is not a bad looking girl at all.
Beautiful. She's a
So
pretty
she
bad at
is.
she's a pretty girl.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and she was young. So I think that's, I think she's older now. So hopefully she's a little wiser, if not a lot wiser, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But well, I don't know, guys, cuz I do you think Martell would let her take little Maverick out of the back to I don't know.
She said that he
Mm.
would never have to worry about going to court with him. He could have Miles Morales whenever he felt like it. Those were her words. She said she was never gonna have to worry about her fighting him over that son. He could have his son whenever he wanted him. And
I
you know
kind of
what?
believe her cuz I believe she operate with her oldest daughter's father the same way.
And
Yeah.
she made it very clear. I mean, um, whereas, and I think part of that was her trying to get back at Basement Bully, that she was saying that, Basement Bully dragging him in out of court. You ain't got to worry about going there. You want these kids, take these kids. Take this boy with you. You don't worry about me. I'm not going to take you to court. Take your son to your house.
And I believe that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Aaron gives me listen. I could do without the headache. Take your
right.
baby, give me a break. Should I could go ahead because Paris. What? Ain't she about to graduate high school?
I don't know if she's
If
about
not
to go.
already in high school.
She's probably about to go to high school. She's probably about 14, 15.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. These kids don't stay babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Susie. I hope she does.
Was she at A? I don't know. I don't think
Well,
Evian was it.
she was
No.
at
No. 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 She met him Bartell met her at his cousin's cookout.
well,
So she was a guest.
she was in college when he met her. She was
Oh. Okay. Okay. I see what you're saying.
yeah, she was in college when he met her.
Oh, okay, she dropped out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
Mhm.
'Cause I know they met at a cookout, his cousin's cookout, his family members cookout. I'd be surprised if it was the uncle that passed away. That's why Basement Bully didn't want to go to the funeral. That's not funny, but y'all remember that, right? First season, yeah, right. Symmetry, because I definitely didn't know that. Yeah, it's time for everybody to move on. God darn it, shoot. At this point, just raise the babies, co-parent, and keep it moving. And that's all they could do. But all right, buttercups, that has been our review. I hope y'all enjoyed it. We've been on here for 3 hours. 3 hours, buttercups. Can you believe that? Okay, I guess I made up for this weekend. I mean, last week. I made up for last week, buttercups. Y'all forgive me. But yes, buttercup. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you, Susie. Right, Miss Mary. It's time to move on. Okay, it's time for everybody to move on. That's just that with them. But I can't wait to see this reunion. Also, I believe they started filming next season already, so I can't wait to see. It sounded like they might. Hey, Kiwa. Hey, beautiful. Who could never? Oh, I could never. Leave me alone, living for me, my buttercup. I live we gonna look, she gonna ragtag and drag me, okay? Thank you, Miss Mary. I appreciate that. Thank you for everybody that joined us. Please make sure you hit the free 99 like button, whether you're watching over here at Butterfly's Corner. Yep, yeah. Okay. Thank you, number one buttercup. Filming has definitely started back up. Make sure you hit the like button over here at Butterflies Corner. And if you're watching over there at the Queendom at Lady Rose, please make sure you hit the like button over there, okay? And hype up the lives, Buttercups. Hype up the lives. It helps us big time in the algorithm. I think they're taking the hypes more seriously than the lives as far as hyping up the live into the algorithm. I think that's the new structure with the whole hype button. So if y'all haven't used up all your hypes yet, if you can hype up the Lady Rose and mines, it would greatly be appreciated. And I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. And don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, okay? Don't forget your girl Butterfly is still on the road to her 3,000. I'm trying to get there by the end of the year. We are doing real good. Thank you, Lady Rose. I think she had a phone call. Thank you so much, Lady Rose. Appreciate you. I do apologize about missing yesterday's because y'all know I love to do the reviews with me and Lady Rose. So that is going to be a continuing thing that hopefully me and Lady Rose will be able to continue to do. I like, me and her doing it together. So shout out to Lady Rose and thank you so much. But yeah, Buttercups, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening and I'll see y'all tomorrow morning, all right? Remember to what? Tell a friend to get down. The Butterfly's going to hit that subscribe button, okay? It will greatly be appreciated. Shout out to all my new subscribers. Welcome to the tribe. So shout out to all the new Buttercups. We did gain a good, nice little handful of new subscribers. Yes. Okay. Oh, the grass made you trip. Yeah, the grass got me tripping. Okay, y'all see that I was out Friday night having a ball. Okay, and that little hole in the wall we was at. Shout out to the hole in the wall. I would tell y'all the name, but y'all know they be trying to dox your girl, so we ain't even gonna go all up in there. But yeah, thank y'all I hope y'all enjoyed the little hole in the wall, having a little fun with your girl Butterfly the other night. But yes, Buttercups, y'all enjoy y'all evening. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. And remember to what? Smile. It's the most simplest, kindest gesture that you can offer to anybody. And it's a universal language. No matter what country you come from or what language you speak, everybody understands a smile. You never know how your smile might brighten up the next person's day. All right, Buttercups? So remember to what? Smile! And the world smiles with you. Okay, Buttercups? Now, y'all make sure y'all stay on y'all what? Square. And keep your head on the swivel. Okay? Keep your head on the swivel, Buttercups, because we definitely got a lot going on. Buttercups, we gotta get to a lot of these subjects that I got all these clips for because it's taking up space on my phone. I can't even take pictures right now, Buttercups, because I ain't got no more space on my phone. I've been wanting to take a picture of so many different things, and my camera's like, girl, you need to let up some space. So I gotta transfer a lot of this stuff off my phone, but I got get rid of these clips too. So we gotta go ahead and talk about all these clips I've been collecting. Okay, I collect all these clips and we just ain't been getting to it. But this week we're gonna try to get a lot of these clips out the way. Y'all know we got real life going on. There's a lot going on. The world as we know it is, I don't know what it's doing. I don't want to say going to hell on the handbasket, but that's what it's looking like. Okay, there's a lot of other hot gossip going on out there. So we're gonna get into the pop culture and everything that's going on there. I know y'all heard about the Diddy tape being leaked and all of that. We'll talk about that tomorrow morning. But anyway, Buttercups, thank you guys so much for joining me. And y'all have a beautiful rest of y'all evening, all right? Love, light, and butterflies. Let's get ready to get up out of here, Buttercups. Hey, you gotta play the theme song.
Yeah. Yo, it's Butterfly sitting at the table, talking real life, keeping it stable. Lessons, blessings, truth when she speak, dropping that fire, new thoughts every week. Butterfly, fly, floating on high. Music in the lounge, keep your soul alive. Reality review, she gon' testify. Standing for the people, she don't let it slide. Butterfly, lessons and blessings. No see but true. She's speaking for you. Yeah. Butterfly. Yeah. Lessons and blessings. No see but true. She's speaking for you.
you, Buttercup. Mwah. Love, light, and butterflies. Don't forget to hype up the live and hit the like button. Night, night.